Whoa! Hello everyone, I'm Kai Zammit and welcome back to another Filmmaker Reacts. Today we are looking at an Overwatch animated short, another one, and this one it's called The Last Bastion. And this one's actually recommended by you guys, which is fantastic. Like normal, after we've watched it, I'll answer that very important question: did the story work? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the story. What I've gathered from you guys is apparently this one has no dialogue in it, so it's going to be purely a visual narrative, which makes me even more excited to see what the filmmakers have done to really enhance that story and hopefully get me to have an emotional connection to it, because again, that's what it's all about, and that's how we connect and relate to things and have that lasting impression, and that's through story. And I promise, well, I'll try my very best to reply to each of your comments, because I'm absolutely loving getting to know you guys and having conversations with you and seeing what sort of films and reactions and short films, commercials and music videos that you want me to react to, and I'm absolutely loving it. Let's get on with it, shall we? Play the tape. Well, from the picture I see a robot, and I love mechs. I love me some mech. If you didn't know, and I don't know if you can see behind me, but I've got display cabinets here filled with Transformers, so I imagine that I'm going to like this one, being that it looks like it's something to at least deal with, it involves a robot, so. Oh, a lovely little bit of ambience before the film starts. Oh, it's got that lovely Pixar-esque visuals to it. I'm absolutely loving it. That's a lovely design. Really, really colourful. Oh, hello. Oh, the way the sound effects change, because that's what you can hear. I'm getting Wall-E vibes here. Wall-E. Wow, what incredible sound design. That's a really cool design aesthetic with all the moss and stuff on him, where he's been there for so long. Well, it's been there for so long. Is this where he blows it up? He just shoots it. No, just my sick twisted sense of humour there. Just that's lovely. Loving the depth of the shots. Oh, he's got the bird nest is on his shoulder. I feel like this is a very light-hearted piece, just with the music and this little friendship. This is lovely. This is. Do you know what? I was just about to say, I wonder if he's shocked when he sees the bird eat it, or just seen death. Oh, is he having flashbacks? Thinks he's gunfire. Whoa! No, he's like a transformer. That's wicked. Oh, I hope he didn't kill the bird. Oh, no, he killed the bird. Stupid, it's make my eyes water. Anything involving children or animals, I'm absolutely a drip for. So did he kill? He did kill the bird. Oh no! Great, I'll be thinking about that all day now. All because of a stupid woodpecker. Oh, there's another of his kind. Oh, there's loads of them. Oh, of course, the Last Bastion. That's what he is. Wow. Oh, what was that thing? Wow, look at those full shields. This is wicked. Oh, okay, he's gone back to evil mode now. Thinks he's back in the war. Oh, the bird's in it. Wow. That immediately made me like really happy. So now I've got emotional tears of happiness. Oh. Wow. That was Oh, and then we've got a product shot. That was lovely. That was really, really sweet. Yeah. Amazing. What a difference between that and Dragons. Both just very powerful pieces. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for I can't even speak now. But thank you for suggesting that. That was lovely. So the question is, did the Last Bastion story work? Yes, it did. It was beautifully told. You know, it was a film with no dialogue, yet it had everything in it to make me emotionally connected to characters, the clever use of visual signals, as well as a massive use of psychology, and going over a topic of PTSD as well, over a robot. Yes, it's really, really cleverly done. But why did it work? Why did all those things, why did I get emotionally connected to those characters? Well, I'm going to tell you why that story worked. Like the dragon short that I've already reacted to, but when the Blizzard logo comes up, they very cleverly like to use sound effects in there with the music as well, but mainly the ambience of the world that we're going to visit. So that's called world building, and it tells us where we're going to go. I use that quite a lot in the films that I make or the commercials that I do. Instead of having the trailer before the trailer, like you normally get on YouTube and trailers and things like that. So the stinger, I like to use sound effects and ambience, and normally put that in there for a few seconds to really enhance, to draw. And the whole point of that is as well, it draws you in. You're like, what's that sound? Oh, okay, I see. Rather than just blasting you with something very, very quickly, you're desensitized because it's just very loud noises. So you're like, wake up. Okay, now the story starts. With this, it was my favorite way of telling stories, which is just slowly bring you into it and draw you in. And again, using this ambience and sound effects and things like that, it's a great way of doing it. The camera movement at the very beginning, the way it worked, is very cinematic. It was cinema, wasn't it? You know, starts from the top, goes down, beautifully framing the subject in the middle, and the camera's always moving and it leads you forward, and it's basically telling you this is the start of our journey. That's what actual cinema means. It means actually movement, the Greek word being kinema, before it was with a K rather than cinema, what we know it as today. Then there was the character development of the bird, you know, introducing us to one of these characters, building up the visuals of it, seeing it over a few shots made me get attached to it. Rather than just one shot where I wouldn't really care about it, there was a few shots seeing it really up close, showing the emotion in its eyes, seeing the human elements, or seeing how it thinks. It clearly worked because I got emotional when I thought it died later on. Oh, I hope he didn't kill the bird. Oh no, he killed the bird. Then there was the brilliant introduction of the second character. You know, he tapped him on the glass, all the moss fell off, and you think, oh, okay, what's this? And then you actually see through the eyes of the character, so you know who that is, basically. Well, you don't know who he is yet, but you know this is the introduction of a second character. What Blizzard did here with the first person perspective was actually quite clever. They set it up very early. You woke up with the character, so the first thing you saw was the bird, but by having it first person that earlier on, rather than the character waking up from the outside, is when you saw a lot of the first person shots of all the HUD coming up and everything like that. It wasn't jarring to the eye. Our eyes just naturally flowed throughout the story. It also allowed us as the viewer to feel his PTSD immediately because we could see it through his eyes. We felt his anxiety, the stress that was coming, you know, how he felt. You wouldn't have felt that if it was from a third perspective, you know, third person, or from the outside. But being inside his head, we could feel his struggles and his pain. Is there a subtext of mother? And what I mean by that is the story within the story. The first thing he saw being born into this world was the bird. It was literally the first thing that he saw. So was it a case of, are you mother? I know it sounds really bizarre, so a lot of people that don't know about psychology find and struggle with this to get their head wrapped around it, but bear with me here. Wakes up, first thing he sees is the bird. It's his mother, effectively. And then there's also a little bit of sign of that and a few shots later. So it's almost like a case of he's imprinted on the bird. Because later on the bird tilts its head, and so does he. He's learning, he's as I said, is it a case of subtext of mother? After we've had that lovely little moment of them two together, and then the past starts to catch up with the story. You know, the mission comes in. Okay, we've got to go somewhere. So that kick starts the story in motion. So we're starting to move now away from the birthplace. They had the correct use of a montage, which is, you know, ultimately the passing of time. They use crossfades in there to emphasize the passing of said time. What I also like about having that montage in, it allowed us to grow with the character. We see him growing. In each scene he's doing something different, or he's learning, he's seeing new sights and sounds and things like that. And by growing with him, it's also introducing us to this world that we don't know. You know, as an outsider looking in on the world of Overwatch, I'm seeing this world through his eyes. And yeah, it's a great case of world building. In the montage, there's that beautiful scene where he holds his hand out with the water and the bird takes from it. I absolutely loved that. That was fantastic character development, seeing the relationship between the two grow. And you think that all happened within 3 minutes. When I thought the bird died, or when the Bastion killed the bird, when I thought this, and immediately when I was watching it, that's why it hurt so much. Because we've had that time of the characters building that relationship up, building that character development. We didn't have those, and the bird just got shot. I wouldn't really care. But again, we've seen this lovely growth of them together. And so yeah, ultimately, I got quite emotional while watching it, which is the desired effect of the story. They also had in there the important reflection shot. A lot of filmmakers do this, especially when it comes to characters, is it's seeing who they are without obviously the use of a mirror. They look in the reflection, he's looking at himself of who he is. Who am I? What am I? There's that emotion going on in this robot's head. There was the learning of life and death. I could see that coming straight away, and what I mean by that is the caterpillar part. So when the caterpillar was going along, we saw the caterpillar goes off scene and the bird eats it and the robot reacts to it. That was a really nice way of showing that life and death. I remember actually a lot of this film reminds me of Short Circuit, and the first one, which featured a robot called Johnny Five, and he had the same thing when I think he landed on a bug or grasshopper or butterfly or something, and he was trying to understand the relationship of disassemble, which means killed. He killed something.
Dead is forever.
Squash. Dead. Disassemble.
They didn't quite go into that, they don't have the time. It's a short film. But in this case they did a very, very quick shot over the montage of the bird eating, signifying life and death, or the learning of life and death. The PTSD kicks in, suddenly the camera starts moving, you know, when the woodpecker went off and the sun goes in and the colour starts to drain ever so slightly, something's off, the camera starts swooping around him because he feels like it's all around him. It's the emotion of panic, fear, anxiety coming in. It does feel like it's all around you. And they start using hidden cuts behind transitions behind the trees to start you away and then bringing you closer and closer to the character. And yeah, so it's not so jarring. There's no harsh cuts. It's just boom, you're really there without even realizing. And then you get that swooping shot, which then rotates the camera to really signify something is way off. I don't feel right here. And then the color completely drains. The sun goes away, and that is the visual signals telling you something bad's happening right now with this character. Another way that they emphasised this and the bad actions that were taking place, so this was when he transformed into the gun and started mowing down all the trees around him. They cut the music harshly. The moment he transformed, that music went boop, it got completely cut. So it emphasised the machine gun shots, all the destruction he was causing. The music slowly faded and then it was a harsh cut. And then, so when you heard, and then the gun was just rotating at the end after what he did, you're like, wow, you really like, gee, what has he done? And then the music comes back in when you see the bird's nest and it's completely surrounded by bullets. And it was such a lovely juxtaposition of visual imagery. Nature, the bird nest, surrounded by man-made weapons, you know, just life and death. It was just such a clever way of using visual cues. And they also, that's where they planted that annoying one feather. Because it went into, I thought about it, that if the bird had died or gets shot, it blows up into pieces. You know, it's going to have lots of feathers everywhere, but it wasn't. There was one feather there, but it was enough to tell me or make me think, oh my god, he's killed the bird. Oh, I hope he didn't kill the bird. Oh, no, he killed the bird. If it had no feathers, I would have been like, oh, he's fine. But just that one annoying feather immediately made me have a reaction to it, and then which kick-started my emotions, being like, oh no, the bird's died. He's died. He killed him. It hurt more, and that was because we've had all that lovely character development beforehand. Yes, it was such amazing stuff. Absolutely wizards when it comes to storytelling. This Blizzard team, loving it. From this moment on, after he's done the bad deed, all the colour is drained from him. He's normally, when you see him, he's cast in shadow, and the music changes slightly as well to show you what he's actually feeling internally and the struggle of what he's just become and what he has done. Then there's the big reveal for the character. So for not us personally, well, it kind of helps us feed into the story, but we feel it through him. The big reveal for him is he sees the other Bastion on the floor. Well, not just on the floor, it's all around him, and it tells you and it tells him what he is. Flashback scene of his past, and they completely changed the colour palette. So this is oranges, blacks and reds. There's not one bit of grass, and it's all been completely gone, as if it's some, you know, obviously it's a big war zone. And even the grass on the shot, when the camera zooms in on him, as the grass on him is completely drained of colour. It's almost black and white, because they don't want to show you that. They want to make you feel a certain way with colour. I want you to feel sad, I'm going to put blue in there. I want to make you feel angry, put red. Let me think of another one. About envy. What colour are you thinking now? That's right, you're thinking green, aren't you? Because it's colour, how it makes you feel, and they use that in his eye as well, just to show that, and it's just simple signals. Then they had that lovely camera movement. It swooped straight into the character and it bumped him in the head, and it sort of brought him back to reality. That was very clever. They brought it right in very quickly, just to emphasise, wow, this is all what's happening around him. And then when the camera got to him, rather than him being static, camera moved in and his head went back. So you had that lovely, perfect transition of, okay, that was past, now we're into present. This whole film is basically made with the visuals to manipulate how you feel, using the colour. And so for him, for example, when he's in bad mode or whatever it is, the sun goes away, the sun goes in, he's cast in shadow. It's just a lovely way. It's almost like having a, you know, if you heard the expression of having a rainy cloud over your head continuously. It's how you feel. Everything is dark, everything is black and white, you just don't feel right. And that's exactly what this character is. All the light is around him, but he is bathed in shadow. And then the bird comes in, the bird swoops in and it brings the light with him. So then when it lands on the character, the light is there. And what's really lovely about this, and this is a really powerful thing here, the bird lands and it gives him a twig, and the twig is there to signal, let's rebuild. Let's rebuild together. You as a person can rebuild. It doesn't matter what the past is. Taking one step forward in the right direction can help you rebuild as a person, and we'll do it together. And all that emotion, all those signals, all that psychology in it, all from one twig. He picks this twig up, doesn't he? And he looks at it, and he analyses it for a second in his head. He's not immediate like, yes, that's what I want to do. They leave you lingering, making you want to feel what he's feeling. Then he was faced with the decision, and they had that visually, and what I call them is a shot of decision. You can see very clearly he's placed right in the middle, past is on the right, and the new way is on the left. When he's holding it, the piano keys pluck, just pluck, from that drone sound, and it went piano keys pluck, 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 pluck. And then the moment he landed, he put it on there, then the full piano works came in. His eyes changed, the light was out fully now, and the music came in to really signal him and his development as a growth of a character. Wow, what an incredible visual piece from just a twig and him just picking it up and putting it on his shoulder. Incredible psychology work there. Really, really, really clever writing. Final nail in the coffin to really show that this character has turned a page. You know, he's in a new chapter of his life. He's not that old person anymore. He's growing as a new being. The decision that he didn't want, you see him walking away from it. And you know, he's literally walking away from his past. He's leaving it behind. And it was such a lovely visual shot to leave, you know, to end the film on. Very, very powerful shot. It's lovely. And there you have it, that was the Overwatch animated short, The Last Bastion. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, guys, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, as it really does help out the channel. And would you like to see some more? Well, over there, I've gone to put another reaction for you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.